You're listening to the Court of Public Opinion, where the New Jersey Garden Club is helping the Pennsylvania Garden Club. Up next. The Field Report at the Court of Public Opinion is a part of the Amateur Radio Network. Coffee news and weather after this. I personally want to thank our local sponsors here in Natilius North and much more coming up next. We're going to discuss a topic I think is well worth talking about here up next. And I think if anybody out there has ever ventured down the topic about sex, love, marriage, and the responsibilities come with sex, love, and marriage, what makes somebody respectable at home, it's not just superficial. There are layers of concerns that you have to address at home before you ever think about getting married. And the reason it takes responsible adults to make a responsible decision about marriage. There's a lot of irresponsible people that think that by getting married, that's going to fix their problem. I'll be honest with you. Most people who think that way, they're not ready to get married. If you're trying to escape a bad home life, that's a whole different situation. Now, that's where cohabitating, that's where a lot of people go, like, hey, I want to cohabitate with somebody. Well, you're going to share the same responsibilities as a married couple. So to me, there's a little mention in some of this that I think if you go on Twitter and you mention some things about marriage and you mention it in a context that I think most people can like generally get, yeah. Listen, I'm not knocking anybody for getting married. I'm not knocking anybody for doing those things. What I'm saying, there's a lot of responsibility when it comes to dating, when it comes to managing emotions, managing being logical, thinking through a decision. It takes time to sort it out. Like, to me, you don't want to be jumping in bed with just anyone. And most people, when they're immature and young and they're not thinking about the responsibilities when it comes to sex, they're usually just immature. And that's really what it is. When you grow up and outgrow that childish stuff, you realize that once you get past the childish stuff and you grow up, I don't expect children to have that level of maturity, though, because there's a lot of life experiences that older folks have that children don't. Maturity is one thing. Life experience is what makes someone more well-rounded. And I'm not even, at 47 years old, I don't have the answers to every concern. I have life experiences I can draw what they mean by schema, and its experiences. Schema is referring to experiences, and that still doesn't mean that my experiences, while I share those, stories, and I have a lot of interesting stories to share, that in itself doesn't make me any more qualified than someone else. Now, the college level, education level, those things are obviously expected when you're applying for a position. When I'm interviewing for a job or a responsible, in this case, maybe I'm interviewing to get married. Maybe I'm interviewing to date somebody. Maybe in a lot of ways, I look at it dating as you're making a business decision. You're making a decision to merge your business with somebody else's business. To me, the responsible partnership is not always about sex. Believe me. You're going to work with employees that are going to be opposite sex. You want to have a good relationship. You and me and people around me are going to look at this and they're going to say, well, how does their company really work? Well, there's a couple reasons why our company works. There's some things that right off the bat I have to address. Fundamentally, I have these strong beliefs here. And I'll write it out and I'll speak to it. My Christian faith is a central part of what I do. Why I do what I do, because my faith is the driver of that. Why I like to go golfing, same reason. There's purpose in what I do. I wake up in the morning, I feel purpose. I like what I do. I enjoy my happiness. I don't go over and disrupt other people's home life. Now, have I had issues at times where I had to talk to neighbors or talk to somebody or go down to the church? A lot. In fact, more than I think most people realize. When it comes to outreach and it comes down to some basic things, I want to go to the store. I want to go to the restaurant. I want to go out to eat. I want to know that my car's there. I expect security. When I'm going to leave my expensive vehicle, I expect basic security. If I'm stranded on the highway, and I don't have ability to get AAA, I want to basically know that my mechanic is not going to lie to the police officer. I mean, there's some basic things I expect. We're taxpayers. First off, we have to pay taxes. We have to pay we have to pay into all these things. So there's a level of respect I expect from not only law enforcement, but I expect it from people that operate stores, from a small business association. I mean, we have to pay fees to belong to a small business association. So me thinking about operating a business in Pennsylvania, I'm going to look at what are the main issues here in Pennsylvania. Before I move my company and my business around, before I change my whole life, am I going to change my home life? Am I going to change everything just to accommodate? Because I don't think that's fair at all. I think it's unfair to have unfair expectations. You don't know anything about me. I don't know anything about anyone down there in South Carolina, North Carolina. I don't know any of those people, so I'm going to do my research. I'm going to look at my homework. I want to test and see if it follows what I want. Just like as marketing, you are market testing. You're looking at the products and you're making buying decisions. You might have buyer's remorse. This is why you don't jump into anything. Somebody that goes spends money that doesn't really know what they're doing. They're just upset and they're spending money. That's emotional spending. Just like food. People eat, they're upset, they're not eating, they're not really thinking about what they're eating. They're not exercising, they're not really thinking about what they're doing. A lot of people are living their lives on autopilot. They're just like kind of on that treadmill. And what we have to know is when you get off that treadmill, you're like, hey, I can't be on this treadmill anymore. I can't keep up with the rest of you not because I can't, it's because I don't want to. I want to go at the pace that I'm comfortable at. I know where success is. I know success takes time. I know there's going to be some things that are not going to always go in line with what I want. I'll make those changes when I'm ready. As a company business owner, I got to think like a company business owner. I can't worry about whether you're going to like me or not. I need to know that you're going to come in and you're going to be reliable and you have reliable transportation. And if not, you let me know that if you can't, that there's a way that somebody's going to cover your shift. I mean, that's what employees are. There's an expectation when you accept a position. I'm hiring and I'm looking for people that are willing to do the work that I expect. There's a level of professionalism that I expect. I don't have time for anyone to fight. I don't have time to listen to your family problems. I'll refer you over to a therapist or a doctor. I mean, I work in the field. I've been around long enough to know what you can and can't do. There are things that sometimes life just throws at you. So it's not as if we're unreasonable. What I want you to know is that you don't have to feel like backed in a corner. You don't have to feel like you're threatened. You should feel comfortable. You should be, when you're ready to make a decision, whether it be having a YouTube channel, you want a paycheck. That's the whole object of going on YouTube and putting a post. Now, are there some people that are learning, to outgrow some old, things? Yeah. And that comes with learning how to do your job correctly. And no one is going to want you to go out there and put yourself in an unnecessary position. That's why you educate yourself, do your homework, read the headlines, find out more about the story before you go put yourself out there. Before you put yourself in a situation, it's like, you ever hear the old saying, like, if only I'd said that or not said that. Like, that's why, to me, I don't think I would put anybody in a position to argue politics, and especially if you only have, like, Politics 101. You can basically present it like this. I am limited to how much I understand about politics. I have about, maybe 2-3 college classes on politics. I studied American government. I don't have a graduate degree in political science. That's just not my strength. My strength is, though, in economics. My strength is in financial, or maybe my strength is in humanities. To me, I can't tell somebody how to do math because that's not my strength. I can't tell you any more about science. I do my homework. This is working knowledge. I try to share it in a way to be honest with and direct, because I look at it this way. There's a lot of people, you might want to study science. You might want to study biology. You may even consider being a doctor at some point. At this point, though, as an undergraduate, going into maybe considering master's and maybe eventually a PhD program, I'm looking at this overall, and I look at it as it's arts and humanities, because I'm not the left brain. I'm a right brain person, so I'm more of like an artist. I have a little bit more. I'm an artist, but I'm not. I'm more logical thinking. I don't really react to emotions. I just don't. I don't have the emotional energy to keep up with somebody's emotions. I know that there are people who have hormonal issues, and to me, a man or a woman nowadays, you should check out and see if your hormone levels are equal to what your progesterone levels are. And right off the bat, I bet most of you could get remedies real quick. You go down to the health store, and a lot of your problems can be cured in a day. It takes somebody to get up and say, I don't want to feel bad, so I'm going to go do some homework. I'm going to go look up, maybe my adrenal's not, doing well. There are people out there that need support. That's generally what's going on. That's what the church family is about. If anybody goes to church and feels like they're left out, it's their own fault. There are people that need that church support. They need like marriage support. They need pastoral counseling. These are things that most people need. So don't sit there and knock something until you really sit down and talk to somebody. A lot of the people that we talk to, they don't go to church. It's not because they don't want to. They don't know how to. They have to be invited. So I invite any of you. When it comes to therapy, and this is kind of our fun way of enjoying some downtime, really our church family is our therapy. We play baseball. We are from Pittsburgh, and this is what we like to do. We have conversations and we entertain discussions that are probably, for obvious reason, relevant to those who are around us, especially children. We have children that care about things, like we have issues with the corner. Maybe it's just basically keeping the heat on. It's simply wanting to go out to school and work and have fun with your friends. At the end of the day, no one wants to stress out about all this stuff, okay? And it's been stressful. And let's be honest, let's tackle the stress issue. A lot of our stressors can be easily eliminated if we just learn to communicate. Now listen, I said all this to say this. I'd rather listen than doing the talking. I'm just trying to get you to the place where you can understand, like, you're going to have to sort out what you want and don't want. You have to take time out for you. And moms and dads, hey, listen, if anybody tells you that you're doing this perfectly, that's totally unfair. Well, we're telling you, there are a lot of parents, they need babysitters they can trust, and they got to talk to people about it. They don't need to be worried about all this other stuff that's going on around them. It's overwhelming as it is. That's why you go to your church. You share that same burden. Their parents, their kids. You'd be surprised how many people would welcome a lot of you with open arms, okay? There are people at church right now that need that, they need to bond and they need to feel connected too. So, and there's some of that is missing in some of your lives. So I feel you. We need to reconnect and be a family. And that's here at We Are Family Therapy Radio. That's a good way to put it, and that's where I'm going to leave it. As for some of you, I hope that all of you can support us at this mission, the Field Report. It's a radio ministry. We have fun times. We're hitting some new topics. Reason why, we know that most of you, if you haven't already noticed, we're trying to start amateur radio networks. So for those of you, maybe an educational, maybe software, things that you can do, graphic arts. Maybe if you're good at videography, maybe if you're good at other things, like in a lot of times, maybe you're good at filming. We're trying to start this independent project so that we can pay people that need to get a paycheck coming in. That's generally what we're trying to do. So if you could support us, we want to get on a public access channel, and we want to go into basically having a YouTube channel where you can get a paycheck. You can work with us, network with us. Believe me, I believe that all of us who want a paycheck are going to want a paycheck. So we can talk to maybe some representatives at YouTube and see where this goes. And to me personally, to have an organized, well put program together, I'm pretty sure we'll get better results as well. Believe me, I know Facebook's kind of like, there's a lot of a herd mentality, overwhelming one or two reporters that do report back onto YouTube. We don't want to see people get alienated and left into a situation they don't know how to get themselves out, especially young kids out there who are just learning how to do this. So that's why we include in our nieces and nephews and our relatives. Because listen, we don't want kids. Most of us would get eaten alive out there. And that's basically what's going on out here with little kids. They go on YouTube, and we need parents and families to pay attention to a lot more that's going on, because there might be stuff going on YouTube. You just got to be a good parent and find out what your kids are into. Find out what YouTube channel, if they have, just find out what's going on. And I guarantee a lot of your problems can be solved right there, okay? So as for me and as for our radio broadcast, we're going to end it here. Thank you for listening to our YouTube channel. We have a lot more fun programs coming up. That's really what we're doing. We're getting this heavy stuff out of the way, because I know right now that's where we're ending it for us. It gets kind of hot and heavy when it comes to tough topics. We're tackling topics I'm not sure we really are comfortable attacking. And when I say that we're not on the attack at all. We're actually trying to direct the topic somewhere else. We're redirecting this program in a different direction. We're going to probably go to a couple other channels. What we're trying to do here at YouTube is just kind of finish it off so we can go on to what we really want to do, because we actually have other options. We don't have to be at YouTube. We can actually make money. This is our intellectual property, and we have attorneys to look at it. We have family, and we have kids to think of. Primarily, I'm not going to put my niece or my family in unnecessary danger. So we're going to look and see. We'll look over the portfolio. I can tell you we have a lot here. We have a lot more to offer. And I'm not going to just sell my family out that easily. So we're going to sit down and sort it out. As for the rest of you, thank you for listening to this broadcast. If you want to click like and share, I appreciate it. God bless. Thank you for listening to the Field Report. Talk about a save. Thank you for listening to We Are Family Therapy Radio. Much more coming up next. And he shoots and scores. You're listening to more of our broadcasts coming up next. You'll want to stay tuned for new changes to our YouTube channel and other broadcasts. Please click like and share.